Is this Charlie?
This is he.
How you doing, Charlie?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm just honored that you were able to take the time out of your busy schedule to call in.
Oh, I'm honored to be on the show. No problem at all.
Definitely one of my biggest guests to date. I actually have a couple questions for you. And
sure.
We'll start off with, how did you get your start in wrestling? I mean, obviously you graduated from the University of Seton Hall.
But I was a fan foremost. Amateur wrestling my whole life, from Oklahoma all the way out to getting a scholarship out to Seton Hall University, and then always being a fan growing up with pro wrestling. And just when I graduated, at the time it was the Monday Night Wars were really hot. ECW was blowing up, and then so I was in New Jersey where Seton Hall was, and I was able to, after I graduated, find the wrestling school, Iron Mike Sharp's Wrestling Academy, and started working on the new Jersey independents, so the East Coast independents, all up and down.
And that's actually one thing I've noticed about people who have such an immense passion for wrestling. It shows in their ability in the ring, and you definitely have the ability, and you are, what was it we joked about the last time? You're probably one of the best wrestlers, next to Kurt Angle, of course, that I've seen in quite a number of years. And it shows in your actual ability in the ring. You have the ability to entertain, don't get me wrong. All the crazy stuff that WWE had you doing at one point, very entertaining stuff. You definitely know how to go with the flow. I think I quite enjoyed your imitation of your good old buddy JBL.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. That was that. But, wrestling was my passion. Pro wrestling is
absolutely
what I became a fan of. I'm not so much a big fan of the sports entertainment. And when Sean and I got brought into WWE, it was still the professional wrestling, but they've gone so far out of left field that they want to, Vince hates the word wrestling. Kevin Dunn hates the word wrestling or pro wrestling or sports entertainment. And it's their baby, so let them do it, So that's why that's why there's other options out there to watch, and I'm just glad to be a part of Ring of Honor, where Jim Cornette's like, no problem. He goes, they say that they release everyone that can wrestle but has no charisma. He goes, well, that's what Ring of Honor wants. We just want pro wrestlers, and we'll build storylines and angles around the wrestling in the ring. He goes, it's not like, the whole motto with Ring of Honor is you fight it, Jim Cornette will ride it. Or with WWE is they ride it, and you have to learn to fight it the way they ride it. And, it just doesn't work that way for everybody.
With one of the best in the business right now with Jim Cornette. He's, without a doubt, probably one of the greatest managers of all time. I mean, there are a few out there. Jim Cornette's one of the best.
Not only is he just one of the greatest managers, but he's one of the greatest minds out there. And, and Ring of Honor is really fortunate to have him, now to have the backing, the financial backing from Sinclair Broadcasting Group. It's really going to, we did our first set of tapings, and now with Ring of Honor getting ready to air September 24th all over the United States, it's going to be I think it's going to be another alternative for people to watch, and, it's a different alternative, and I think people will enjoy it.
That was actually going to lead into my next question. I know that Jim has actually been getting quite a bit of questions about it, and for those that are listening tonight, if they were wanting to watch Ring of Honor, how would they find out if it's located in their area?
They can go to, there's two things. They can go to Sinclair Broadcasting Group. It's a publicly traded company on Wall Street. They can go Wikipedia it or Google Sinclair Broadcasting Group, and it'll show everything that they own, and Ring of Honor is underneath their umbrella, and it'll show the stations that they own, and the affiliates they own that it'll be played on. Or, I don't know if Ring of Honor shows it yet, but they may show the list of what stations it'll be on in what cities.
Okay. Yeah, because I myself actually have seen Jim get bombarded with a lot of questions about where it's going to be, because I know myself I'm actually excited for them to come on to TV, because right now all we have right now is WWE and TNA, and TNA is not doing so good right now. It's my opinion, of course, but I mean they're doing okay, but not competing. You know what I mean?
It's just, right, but that's the thing, and people, and this is the key, and this is what I love with the whole philosophy, and with Ring of Honor, with Joe Koff, the COO now, and when Kerry, sold it to Sinclair, and Jim's philosophy is that, why go and compete against WWE? Well, why even try? And I think TNA would do better if they didn't try to compete about them or ever mention the name WWE in any of the promos or anything. Just be your own entity, be your own show, and show something different. I think once you start trying to compare to WWE, it's going to be hard to do because they're an animal in itself, and you're not going to have the money or beat Vince. They are a marketing conglomerate, and so that's what I love the philosophy with Ring of Honor. They're like, we're not trying to compete against them, we're not trying to compete against TNA. We're our own entity. We're a different show. We offer pro wrestling. And it's a different style that you're going to see that you're going to be like, wow, this stuff looks like it hurts and it's competitive.
Now, while you were during your time in WWE in the around 2002-2003 era, there was Team Angle. How did they just kind of choose Shelton for you, or how did you guys get paired up?
Well, Team Angle and he always asked Kurt if you ever. Team Angle originally was supposed to be for my brother, me, and Kurt, and then Shelton was going to be brought in, so it'd be like a 4-man team. And then my brother passed away in the end of 2002, actually the end of 2001, and then so they just put Shelton and I together, and we just worked a bunch of house shows, dark matches, till they finally found ready to put us, enter us into the storyline. So
nice, and you definitely had some legendary battles with Eddie and Chavo.
Eddie, Chavo, Billy, and Ray,
Yeah. Well, my favorites were Eddie and Chavo. I'm just saying because you guys.
Oh yeah.
Eddie was quite the character back then.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But was there any particular match? Some of the matches that you hold near and dear to your heart, as far as in your entire career? Really? I mean, not just WWE, just entirely.
I think WrestleMania 19, our first WrestleMania. I think some of the matches, of course, with the Chavo and Eddie. I think the best tag match we ever had was the Rey Mysterio, Billy Kidman match on pay-per-view in Denver, and it's actually on Rey's new DVD that came out. And then I think with the Kings of Wrestling that when Honor takes center stage when we won the championships from them. I think I love the feud with them. I think we have the best matches and the best chemistry with that tag team, and they're phenomenal. They're awesome, and wherever they end up going, whatever company gets them, they're going to be very fortunate to have them because those guys are just really good workers and good people at that.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to take a quick break here. Charlie, hang out for me for just a second. I'll be back in just about 30 seconds, okay?
Okay.
Thanks. Charlie, you there?
I'm here.
Oh, I thought I lost you there for a second.
No, yeah.
Okay. Now, actually, I did have a couple more questions, and one of them was, in your entire wrestling career, who actually gave you the best advice that you've definitely taken with you and learned a lot from? I think it might be Kurt, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, as a mentor that really took Shelton under his wings, Arn Anderson.
Really?
Everything. Yeah, he coached us to become, Team Angle and World's Greatest Tag Team, and we worked with him every day before and after shows in the ring, hours upon hours, and I really, I think he was the best mentor we ever had, and along with Jerry Briscoe, so we were fortunate to have two tag team specialists really guide us,
Wow, I've heard a lot about the fact that Arn has definitely had a great mind for leading people and giving them ideas as far as their matches go, and that's just awesome. I've always been a fan of Arn, even back in his days of the Horsemen too. But as far as Ring of Honor goes, I believe you guys have another pay-per-view coming up real soon. If I'm not mistaken, I heard that. Is that correct?
Yeah, we sure do. September 17th.
And for those who are wanting to tune in, you guys currently still do the pay-per-views online, right?
The internet pay-per-views. That's correct.
Okay, that's cool. And you guys are taking on, who are you guys taking on the?
I don't know what we're doing for that yet. I don't know if they haven't announced it or haven't talked to us. I'm not sure if we're both going to be showcased in singles matches or if we're going to be wrestling in tag match. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we're really not. That's what I like about Ring of Honor. Even though we're a tag team, they'll put us still in singles matches, so it's good that way. Now,
I have to ask, because I see it all the time on Twitter, and I'll be honest, I'm a huge fan of both of you guys, and I have to touch on the fact of your little Twitter war between you, Shelton, and JBL about the hairpiece.
Oh, yeah.
How long has that been going on, and have you guys been kind of ribbing each other all these years? Or?
It's been going on probably since, like, we used to battle APA. It's just, it's a friendly war. JBL has more stroke with Fox News and all that, to where he can plug saying he has more hair than Charlie Haas, which, I just find hilarious. So we just, it's a friendly battle that's been going on. John and I have been business partners, and he's a good friend of mine, and I think it's great, because he's so damn quick-witted and intelligent, and you got to be on top of your game with him, and you got to really watch him. So he's the man, and he's living the dream. He did great in wrestling, saved his money. He's living in Bermuda half the time, and he's just a good guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Kill me for saying that. He doesn't want anyone to know he's a good guy, but he is. So he's a good guy with the toupee.
He was actually just on his. He was a guest on the Honky Tonk Man show just recently.
Oh, was he? Huh.
Yeah, and he was actually chatting with Honky about some road stories, and I was gonna call in and ask, but I guess they weren't taking questions. But in this case, I'm glad you shared your portion of it. I'm definitely going to post the link on his Facebook, because I've been chatting with him, posting things on his Facebook as well. Very, very interactive with his fans, and that's awesome. And I was going to ask, do you happen to have a Facebook as well?
No, actually, I don't. I just stick to Twitter and LinkedIn, but we need to open up a fan page at Facebook, like Wrestling's Greatest. And that's what they asked me about John. John's really turned into a social media mogul. Like, he knows how to promote himself, I need to take a page out of his book on that, especially with the YouTube part, so.
Oh, and I definitely was getting a kick out of the attempted apology he was trying to make to you guys.
Oh, I know. He's I tell you, man, he is hilarious. He is, it's good, man. I got to the point where I get pissed when he doesn't plug us on his YouTube on his YouTube shows. I'm like, man, at least keep it going. But that must be old age.
Now, not many people know, but some may actually know. You actually are married to a former Tough Enough contestant, Jackie Gaeta, who is now Jackie Haas, of course. How is she doing? Is she doing okay?
She's doing great. She's actually a former Tough Enough champion, one Tough Enough too, and she's doing great, man. She's we have 3 beautiful kids, and she's competing, in the fitness world, but under figure, and she's just a workout athletic machine. So
that
keeps me on my toes. She's a super mom, great wife, great best friend. She can go, man. She's doing good, and she'll every now and then she'll do an indie with me or go down to Mexico with me. So she's been all over. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've always wondered if she'd ever considered going back into wrestling, but I think she's happy where she's at.
No, she is. I think she is. Never say never, but she's making a hell of a career for herself. She's doing really well.
Now, just out of curiosity, she did some time in TNA. Did she kind of give you maybe some helpful hints of maybe not to go over there, or
no, not at all. It was just
to go over there at all.
No, by the time, I was thinking of, going over there, I ended up signing back with WWE, and she was pregnant with our first daughter, so it just, it just didn't work out. There was nothing about not going over there or anything like that. It just didn't work out at the time.
That's cool. Now, as far as if the fans want to get a hold of you, or at least reach out to you, I believe you were talking about it briefly. You can be found on Twitter, and it's, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, at Charlie Haas, right?
Right. Twitter me at Charlie Haas, yeah.
And you answer questions from fans and so forth. And it can get kind of crazy on there. I've seen fans get pretty...
and all haters get blocked, so I don't have time for that. So don't have time for it. Yeah.
No, of course not. I understand. That's why. That's one of the main reasons I do my show here. I don't try to be a lot like the Dirt Sheets. I'm doing this in a fan perspective because honestly, I'm a fan. I grew up watching you guys, and
and I think we all are. I was a fan to start. I think you have to be a fan, thinking through whether you're wrestling or you have your own radio show. You got to have a fan to love to do this. So. Got to be.
Well, I mean, I can't even imagine the kind of crazy stuff that you guys have gone through to even go out there and continue to perform in front of everybody. And, you know, the appreciation that I have for you guys is immense because of the fact that you guys stay away from your families for long periods of time, and you're just doing it for the fact that you do it for the crowd, you do it for the fans. And one has to appreciate that.
No, you know, and you're right, you know, but I mean, like you said, if it wasn't for the fans, we wouldn't be able to do this, you know, we wouldn't be able to live our dreams. So, you know, it's a two-way street, but, you know, you just get people out there who take it so seriously, like, oh, God, you know.
Well, I've seen a lot of people who have their opinions on it, and you know, I never claimed to be a writer, never claimed to be a storyteller. I just enjoy every aspect of it, and you know, from the days back in the 80s of Hogan and Andre to even Austin and Rock in the 90s, and even now as it becomes more of a variety, because I was watching in the days of WCW as well, when they had Eddie Guerrero, they had Chris Jericho, they had Rey Mysterio. And that was bringing people in to watch because it was wrestling. It wasn't just the NWO. It wasn't just DX. It wasn't just Austin and McMahon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's I think that people appreciated that. And then we started to see it get much better again in 2003 when they brought in the new crop of wrestlers, which you and Shelton happened to fall into that as well, because I think that's back when tag teams were legit. And we right now don't see too many legit tag teams.
No, I mean, that's why another thing. I mean, if you want true, legit tag team wrestling, go to Ring of Honor. I mean, that's the best. Any team there could wrestle in any federation, any organization in the world. I mean, and if any other tag team out there thinks they're that good, then they need to come to Ring of Honor to see how good they are to wrestle against those teams. Like the All Night Express, phenomenal. Briscoes, I can't even name it. I've seen them since the day they broke in, you know. The Kings, American Wolves, us, Colin O'Reilly are up and coming, the Bravados. I mean, you got teams that no other organization could hang with that team. And if they could, then they'd be here. I mean, believe me, I want to see teams like Bad Intentions or Beer Money. I'd like to see them come, you know, and put on a hell of a match with any of the teams in Ring of Honor. But if you really want to be a legit tag team, you need to come to Ring of Honor, especially when you have Jim Cornette, who was manager of one of the greatest heel tag teams, bar none, the Midnight Express, when he knows how to write for tag teams, and he knows how to make tag teams mean something, and those championships mean something. The championships at the other organizations don't mean jack. They just don't, because no one knows how. One, they don't care for tag team wrestling, and two, they don't treat it like it should be treated.
You're right. You're absolutely right on that.
That's the truth.
Now, if there were, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you're right. It's the truth.
No, what I was going to say is now, I am looking forward to getting more familiar with the product that you guys have in Ring of Honor. I've been able to see bits and pieces on YouTube and even on the page, and therefore looking forward to seeing. But like I said, as far as fans go, I'm definitely a fan of you guys because of the fact that you guys not only are entertaining but also know how to wrestle, and you back up what you say, and that's what I'm saying. I've been following you guys since like 2002, 2003. So.
And the good thing about what's going to help, if you don't get, Ring of Honor does not fall, like if you into a TV station or a TV affiliate in where you live, you'll be able to get that TV show aired for free, won't cost you anything, on ROHWrestling.com. So you will see the episodes every week as if you would see it on TV. So if you don't get it on TV, you will definitely just go to ROHWrestling.com, and you'll be able to watch it for free starting September 24th.
Okay, awesome. I was wondering about that too because I live out here in Southern California, and I didn't see anything that's coming this way,
Right.
So I definitely want to get it.
You'll definitely see every episode on ROHWrestling.com.
Awesome. Now I heard you guys definitely got a new tag team coming over that way now, according to what I've heard. I don't know. Is it true that they have a new tag? They're getting more tag teams coming over that way now, or is it kind of building it up, or?
I don't know. I hope so. I know they've asked, who we'd like to bring over, and I definitely think the Young Bucks will be coming over. And I really would, I would love for them to bring Bad Intentions from New Japan, that tag of Carl Anderson and formerly known as A-Train, but John Bernard. I think they'd be a great tag team.
I remember him.
Yeah,
I remember him.
You go to YouTube and check them out. They're one of the best tag teams I've seen, so I'd love to see them come in as well, too.
Now, you said you've also wrestled in Japan as well?
What's that?
You've also wrestled in Japan as well?
Yeah, for All Japan and New Japan.
How was it like wrestling out there in front of that crowd?
It was good, man. Hold on one sec. Hold on.
Sure.
I'm sorry. No, I loved it. I love the style. It's more of the Ring of Honor style. It's stiff. It's hardcore. It's fit, man. I mean, I just love it because it's more competitive, and it really is. The Japanese style is so very similar to the ROH style.
Interesting. That is interesting. Now, one last question. I know that it's getting late where you're at. Growing up as a fan, and just in, obviously you're a wrestler now, but as a fan from the time you were a child, who was your all-time hero that you looked up to as a kid and probably still do now as an adult?
Man, I think I was a big fan of the Four Horsemen. Getting to know Arn Anderson is probably one of my biggest heroes I've always looked up to. Being from Oklahoma, the Briscoes. Growing up in Oklahoma, I was able to watch a lot of world-class championship wrestling. So,
Von Erich.
Yeah, well, Von Erich, Chris Adams, and Gino Hernandez, the dynamic duo. The Mid-South wrestling was awesome to watch, and in Georgia Championship Wrestling, big fan of the whole Gordon Sully era, and with Georgian Championship Wrestling, World Class Championship Wrestling, and the old school WWF stuff. I was just fortunate to see all those territories on their way out.
Oh no, I definitely know all the people you were talking about. I mean, I've studied a lot of the different superstars and so forth. But what I'm going to go ahead and do, since I know I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's probably close to 10:30 over in your area, right? Yeah. Well, I want to actually thank you so much, honestly, Charlie, from the bottom of my heart. I really, really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
But, you have a good night.
Remember, at Charlie Haas and JBL, you have no hair compared to I do. All right. Later.
Take it easy, man. Bye-bye.
Take care, bye.